the spiritual discussion program on from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. I'm Saad in not Southeast London today. I'm actually in Nigeria. So yes, I've traveled to Nigeria for Christmas. I'm there a little bit before Christmas, and first time I've come to Nigeria. So I'm really enjoying here. I came at the weekend, and it's obviously hot, but nice, I must say. Very good experience here in Lagos. I'm actually. So the temperature, I think the sun has set now. Yes, it's dark outside, but it is easily over 30 degrees centigrade here, has been in Lagos. And tonight, I have a joint host with me, and his name is B. Welcome, B. And I know you have done this role with me, or not with me, but my role before in our show last year. Uh, but I'm inviting you today and for the next few weeks uh, while I'm in Nigeria to support uh, me and with the show, really. Uh, in Nigeria, we do get power cuts here, and maybe internet can go down. So in case that happens, well, even if it doesn't happen, B will be there working together with me. And if it happens to me, he will take over. So I just thought I would share that with you listeners. And then, of course, B, please tell us where you are and how is the weather where you are?
Thank you very much, Saad, for your introduction to the show. Currently, I am in South Africa, and the temperature right now is at the current moment is about 19 degrees. So the temperature's been a bit down, but for the most part of the day, it was around about 30 degrees. So it's also been a little hot.
Right.
And then it rained later towards the evening, which cooled things down. So right now we're experiencing around about 19 degrees Celsius right now as I speak.
Yes, and also I should let people know the time. So it's 6 p.m. or just past 6 p.m. UK time. In Nigeria, they're 1 hour ahead right now. So they're 7 p.m. It's after 7 p.m. And what is the time in South Africa, please?
In South Africa, it's currently 8 p.m. right now, just 4 minutes past 8 at the moment in South Africa.
Okay, right.
So yes.
And yes, so that's, it's really international tonight. And of course, as usual, listeners, we have Gregory joining us. Gregory, how are you and how is the weather where you are?
Thanks. One is fine. It's cold, dark.
Oh, yes, and you're in Europe, so I know it's
as you people are speaking.
Yes.
Although I don't like envy, but I envy those in a warm climate. Yourself and B, and I'm sure you're having real fun.
Yes, we are. We are
really thick clothes here.
Yes, and B is in South Africa, so he's on the. What season is it there? Because we are in. Well, I don't know what you can call it in Nigeria, but I know it's winter in Europe. December.
It's summer right now we're in the heart of summer right now, so it's extremely hot. Yesterday was one of the hottest days. We had about 36 or 30, almost 36 degrees, 35, 36 degrees Celsius, basically where I was staying. So yeah, it can get pretty hot. And the contrast sometimes is I was in Cape Town about a week ago, and the contrast is that over there is extremely cold. It sometimes gets cold, it rains. So, you might be parts of South Africa that is cold and other parts that is warm because it's quite a big place. But yes, I had the experience of experiencing a lot of hot temperature yesterday. But today is a lot of the milder part because it's also rained as well. So yes.
Okay, and I know Europe. Gregory's told. Did you say it was 6 degrees there, Gregory?
In Europe?
Yes, where you are. What's the temperature there?
It's between 6 and 9.
Okay, you see,
it's already
massive
down.
difference. Yep. And Nigeria, I think we say they're in the tropics, so it's sort of the same. I don't know, if I'm honest, I don't know what is the variation of temperature, but obviously over 30 here. So I will call it. It looks like summer all the year round, but yeah. So yes. So listeners, I just want to say this is the spiritual discussion program, and the aim of the show is to introduce you to the spiritual knowledge in the light of truth, the Grail Message by Abrushin. And every week we have a new topic for discussion. The topic we have chosen tonight is what is true, genuine help? What is true, genuine help? And you might have noticed the word true and genuine are virtually identical, actually. We will go through the meanings. And there's a reason why I did that. I could have said what is genuine help or what is true help. I just thought by putting them together, it emphasizes this. What is it, this true help? Is it true help or not true help, or genuine help? Just to emphasize it. And I know it sounds a bit strange to do that, but I thought this is a way to emphasize it. So, and you're of course welcome to join us with your questions or comments. Now, I want to say, since I'm in Nigeria, please do not call the UK number, mobile number, but you can call on the WhatsApp for that UK mobile number. So I will say that very clearly in a minute. So I just want to warn you now. So please, if you have any questions or comments, you can contact us on our WhatsApp UK number, okay, which is, if you're in UK, it is 07939 641 958. As I say, you can use WhatsApp to message us or call us. And if you're outside of UK, it is 00447939 641 958. Again, it's WhatsApp only, by calling on WhatsApp or messaging on WhatsApp. And the other alternative way is to go to the website where we are broadcasting. That is blessradio1, that's the number one.com. If you go there on the homepage and scroll down, you'll see a box called Bless Chat. And there you can type in any questions or comments. Now, I'm going to hand over to B to read a text on what is the Grail Message.
Thank you. What is the Grail Message? The Grail Message in the Light of Truth by Abrushin is a spiritual knowledge of life. It offers an explanation of the world, a picture of creation on the basis of natural laws. Its lectures contain valuable basic elements as a help in life, for through the knowledge mediated, the reader is again brought closer to life, to and led back to God. The Grail Message deals with important fundamental questions of life by explaining in a clear and logical way the automatic working of the laws of nature, the whole weaving of creation, allowing every process to be recognized, and thereby the purpose of our whole life. It is directed at the individual and speaks to the innate experiences of the human being, their strengths and weaknesses. Thus, every reader has the opportunity to discover through the intuitive perception if what is stated is the truth. Combining with matter-of-fact reasoning, a complete whole picture arises where there is no separation between the visible world and the great world beyond the five senses, nor any separation between scientific and religious striving for knowledge. I'd like to give...
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Go on.
Yes, I'd like to give a couple of quotes from the author of the Grail Message, Abrushin. The hearer and the reader of my lectures should always walk within himself, keenly probing and building bridges from one lecture to the other, as well as out into the great and small happenings, small world happenings. Only then will he be able to understand the Grail Message and find that it gradually shapes itself into one complete whole, without leaving any gaps. Again and again, in all the happenings, the reader will come back to the basic features. He can explain everything without having to change even one single sentence. The word of the Grail Message lives so that it permits only those people who really carry the honest desire in their souls to find abundantly. All else is automatically rejected by it. For the arrogant,
Thank
and
you.
I'd like to give another quote from the author. I wish to fill the gaps which many so far always remain unanswered in the souls of the men, and which never leave any serious thinker in peace if he earnestly seeks for the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, B, and apologies for interrupting. Uh, yes, listeners, just to remind you, the topic for tonight is what is true, genuine help? And I would like to again invite you, if you have any questions or comments, to contact us on WhatsApp only, please, on if you're going to contact on the mobile, on WhatsApp only to this UK number, which is 07939641958. You can call or message us again on WhatsApp. And if you're outside of UK, it is 00447939641958. Again, only please contact on WhatsApp, call or message. And the alternative way is to go to the website where we are broadcasting this show, which is the website is blessradio1.com. That's the number one. That's blessradio1, the number one.com. And if you scroll down on the homepage, you will see a box called Bless Chat. There you can type in any questions or comments. And Gregory, as you know, I like to go through the meaning of the words in the dictionary of the topic. So let's start. The topic tonight, the topic we have chosen tonight is what is true, genuine help? So the first word there is what? I know it's very unusual to pick a word like that to look in the dictionary, but I thought, let me do it this time. So what does it say for me in the dictionary? This is what I found. I've got two meanings. Asking for information, specifying something. Asking for information, specifying something. So they give an example of that. What is your name? So Gregory, is there anything you'd like to say on that meaning?
Well, thanks. As is usual, dictionary meanings are partial pointers to the reality. That expression, what, is already pointing to a subject or an object, more like a container, concrete. So that which you just printed out is also helpful because it's a pointer.
Thank you for that. So the second meaning given for what is the thing or things that, and it says this in bracket, used to in specifying something. And I must admit, I didn't quite get what it says, so I'll repeat it. The thing or things that, brackets, used in specifying something. And they do give an example there. What we need is a commitment. So, Gregory, is there anything?
More like a pointer to an object. What we need is a commitment. It's either pointing to an object or a subject. So
Right.
what you have read out, these are pointers, although they may be fairly nebulous, but they still remain pointers.
Yes. Thank you for that. So I will now move on to the next keyword, is what I'm going to say, which is true. And there are two meanings again for this one in the dictionary. The first meaning is in accordance with fact or reality. And they give an example, a true story. So, Gregory, what do you say about this one?
The word fact or factual, or the expression fact or factual, is the nearest so-called that may be used. So it is very, very helpful.
Good. And the second meaning given in the dictionary is accurate or exact. And I'll give an example of that in the sentence. It was a true depiction. So,
Again,
yeah.
yeah, that is quite helpful because all these are qualifying what it is. So, or painting a picture, what it is to, so that one can have the right concept.
Mm. Okay. People will be laughing when I read this now. Genuine. The meaning of the word genuine. It's in the dictionary. It says truly something. So truly, what something is said to be. And they give it. I will say a second word. Authentic. So the why I'm saying we might laugh because there's a word truly, which means it's relating to the previous word true. So anyway, I will say it again. So the meaning of for the word genuine in the dictionary, it says truly what something is said to be, authentic. And they give an example of this: genuine 24 karat gold. So Gregory, what do you say about this one?
Authenticity already specifies is one of the nearest pointers that one may use. As long as that authenticity is maintained, then it harbors or gives a more precise picture that is very helpful.
Good. Thank you for that again. And now the last keyword in our topic. For that, I think we have, let me make sure, we have three meanings. We go with them through carefully because these are very big words for our topic. So I just want to go. So there are three meanings given in the dictionary for the word help. This first meaning, it says, make it easier or possible for someone to do someone in brackets that is, to do something by offering one's services or resources. So let me repeat that. So this is the first meaning in the dictionary for the word help. To make it easier or possible for someone, that's in brackets, to do something by offering one's services or resources. How good is this meaning, Gregory?
It is still useful, though it doesn't give the real essence of what help is.
Okay. Okay, it doesn't give the real essence. So let me continue with a couple of the other meanings and see if that helps. Now, oh, that makes a better sense. So let me see. The second word, meaning, it says serve someone with. And they give example of food or drink, but it could be anything really. Serve someone with. What do you say about this one, Gregory?
One is, all these are just qualifications, and the real essence has not been revealed by what, of course, it could be a service. So again, that's a pointer. But all these are the different parts
Mm.
which must be looked into.
Okay, good. Now, I have a third one. Let me just make sure I can see it. It says, for this is the meaning of the word help, cannot or could not avoid. And it sounds a bit strange. So I look at the example they give it. They said he couldn't help laughing. Um, So, Gregory, is that any use for us?
These are, to repeat the word itself, these are helpful.
Mm. Okay,
Maybe you
that's
can
fine.
understand the pun. Pun
Yes,
is
yes,
using, yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. Right. So it's okay. We just really starting only, and we want to get deep into the topic now. So, Gregory, now again, to repeat, the topic tonight is what is true, genuine help? So the first word, I mean, the main thing in my head comes in is help, you know, and then I think, well, what type of helps are there? You know, there could be something like an emergency, urgent help might be needed for that, you know. There could be some non-urgent help, which could be for the short term or the long term, you know. So this is, well, I'm sorry, I'm sound like giving my own answer already, but I was just thinking that, you know, um, and you know, according to the type of help, you know, people will act the way they will act, you know. So, Gregory, is there any other type of help than the ones? First of all, do you want to say anything about the type I've mentioned? And if, yeah,
Well, the types you've mentioned are um, categories which you have referred to. Again, these are what one might refer to the limbs or the pointers to real help, to genuine help. But again, the essence is what we still haven't touched about.
oh, okay. I'm, I'm thinking we haven't touched it, so but I'm feeling we should still continue with other questions before we just straight delve into what is this essence, and things maybe just drop out of that discussion. So I think that's what we'll do. Um, okay. So the next question, Gregory, I have is, what is the purpose of help?
Thanks. That question is very important to provide a framework for it. The need is there to precisely say what help is. And in that case, one must stress that superficially, initially, only that which is of benefit to the individual is helpful. If it's not of benefit to the individual, then it would not be right to talk of genuine help. Of benefit, that looks, that seems to encapsulate much. But there is the need to go deeper. Of benefit to the individual. And who is this individual? The individual himself or herself, the inner core, which is of spirit. Once there are activities which have an impact on the inner core, which is of spirit, which have an impact on his or her thoughts, which has an impact on the outer, that means on the deeds. When these three different categories we through which the individual expresses himself or herself. Once these different categories are considered, then that which is of help or that which is helpful must be beneficial. One has to get it right in the sense sometimes that which is beneficial in deeds may not agree with the thoughts of the human personality, because that which is of benefit is persistent. It persists not only on the outer form that we know, but on one's thoughts and above all in one's intuition. So only that which is of benefit to the individual is real, genuine help. Else, it is not of real, genuine help.
Thank you, Gregory. I can see that we are sort of outlining in general terms these the word help and purpose of help, and like saying beneficial and so on. And there's also, you can have physical help, you can have, I don't know, spiritual help, or we haven't described what type of help there can be in that sense. So that's, and that we really would need to, how can I say, look into in deeper. You've already said it. We have to go deeper in these points. So for sure we will do that. Now, I'm getting some messages. Okay, just seeing if there's a listener sending us questions. Yeah. So no, there was just some comments being coming. So okay. Yeah. So I'm seeing that, Gregory, we need to explore this much further. And what I would like to do is, I just want to right now, let the listeners know you're listening to Bless Radio, and this is the Tuesday evening spiritual discussion program from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. The aim of the show is to introduce you to the spiritual knowledge in the light of truth, the Grail Message by Abdrushin. If you wish to know more about the Grail Message or want to get a copy of the Grail Message for yourself, you can go to this website, which is called www.grailmessage.com. I'll spell that. www.grail, Grail, message, MESSAGE.com. And the topic that we're discussing tonight is, what is true, genuine help? What is true, genuine help? If you wish to join in with any questions or comments, you can contact us on our UK number, but it would only be on WhatsApp, just to be clear. WhatsApp, which is, the number is, UK number is 079 39 641 958. You can call or message us. And if you're outside of UK, it is 0044 79 39 641 958. Again, please contact us on the WhatsApp, either calling or messaging. And there's an alternative way to reach us as well, which is by going to the website where we are broadcasting. That is Bless Radio 1. That's the number 1.com. There, if you scroll down on the home page, you'll see a box called Bless Chat. You can type in any questions or comments in there. And I wanted to say we are broadcasting, as I said, on Bless Radio 1, the number 1.com. You can also listen to us on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com and type in the search box, Bless Radio 1, the number 1 again, space live stream. That is for the live show. You can also listen to a recording of this show the next day. By the way, we broadcast the live show is on Tuesday evenings, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. So after that, you can listen to a recording of the show on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and type in the search box. Bless Radio 1. Again, that's the number 1 there. Space, Grail Message, space, the topic of the show, which tonight is what is true, genuine help? And of course, you can also listen to the recordings of our previous shows on YouTube. And thirdly, you can listen to us on Zeno. That's ZENO .fm / Bless Radio 1. Again, the number 1 there. Now, I'm going to actually ask B to continue for the next half an hour, um, partly to give him practice and partly he's got his own questions. So I know I could continue with what I was saying earlier, but I think I would like B to be sort of take over now. So B, please, if you can continue.
Okay, thank you very much, Sad. I'd just like to also just point out one or two questions that I've put together here. The first of which is, what motivates genuine help? And I think a little bit of that is help still genuine if it stems from personal gain, recognition, or a sense of obligation rather than compassion?
Thanks for that particular question. It is very pertinent, for it is what lies behind help, that expression. That is what makes it genuine or not genuine. That's what makes it true or not true. Because it is the motive. It is the motive that counts. It is the motive that gives the power or the substance. Therefore, you might find some activities which one may say it's helpful, but the motive itself is far from it. That's which is referred to as the motive in this particular case is that of one's intuition. If the intuition from the personality or whoever offering that service or help, if that intuition is in accordance with the laws of creation, through which all that exists in creation came into existence, such that the one receiving the help benefits from it spiritually or in thoughts or in deeds, then that motive is true because it is consistent with the laws of creation and is genuine because one is referring to the original laws of creation. The laws of creation themselves never vary, they remain the same. For it was only through the laws of creation that the individual or the spirit germ that started as an unconscious germ, spirit particle, and in experiencing became aware of its environment, and subsequently, if it keeps along with its investigation and activities, it becomes self conscious. So, whatever efforts which are used to support the individual to become self conscious in accordance with this framework, that is helpful. If the motive, that is the intuition, is not in accordance with these laws through which all came into existence, then it is not helpful because you have a scenario in which there are other motives, which motives is not helpful to the spirit, but may seem to be helpful externally. Therefore, it is quite important to differentiate that which is genuine, which is true, and therefore is of benefit to the individual from that which, seen from the outside or when judged correctly, is not of benefit, but only pander to the wishes of men.
Thank you very much, Gregory. I'd like to go a little further on to take it from another angle or a different perspective. I want to use the word charity here, and the question is charity always genuine help? Does charity sometimes create dependence rather than empowering the recipient? This is ties to the type of help. In some cases, some people would look at charity as a form of help. So, what is charity always a genuine help?
Again, many organizations register as charities. Whether the intent, whether the intuition or the motives are charitable, charity in itself is basically offering a service to the individual when that individual is not in a position to, in quotes, pay back. Charity in itself is such that one has been able to receive of the blessings. Those blessings may manifest as strength or one having much resources, part of which could be money, and offers these resources to another without any expectation of the receiver giving anything back in such a way that is of the same material consistency. So for many a charity, they are there to give. What lies behind it is a different story. For the receiver that is in need, or one should qualify it for the receiver that is genuinely in need, then such is helpful, even if the motive behind that charity or the motive behind that giving is not genuine. For the laws of creation are such that there will be returns. There will be returns not only for the giver, but also for the receiver. If the giver, the motive behind which he used in giving, if the motives are of spiritual, then he himself will receive subsequently that which is spiritual. If the motive also had an impact on his thoughts, he himself will receive that which is thoughtful. The same thing with the deeds. For the receiver, having received, the key thing is to make use of that which has been received in such a way to ensure it is of benefit to it, and subsequently in the interaction with others will strive to give to others that which he himself or herself has received. It doesn't mean it has to be of the same material consistency. It could be a little help here and there. It could be a word of advice. All this help to fulfill the laws of creation in that he or she who receives must make use of it and pass it on. The giver himself or herself must have received. So, being a receiver has made use of it and has passed it on. The receiver who, just like the giver, must make use of that which he or she has received and offer some form of service or something to others. In that way, the laws of creation, which permits of continuity, blessings spread further, and that in itself, that activity refreshes the movement within nature, within creation.
Thank you very much. I would like to go a little further now with the next question, which is, does genuine help require empathy? And a little side chat here would be, can help still be genuine if it lacks understanding of the recipient's circumstances or needs?
Well, maybe we should take the questions bit by bit such that
Okay,
there will be clarity. The first one, please.
clarity before the other one. Okay, all
Mm.
right. Okay, so if I could say the first one is, does genuine help require empathy?
What is referred to as empathy nowadays is the movement deep within one which sprung from one's intuition. One intuition in the sense that one can observe one's neighbor in need and realizing that that neighbor may not have the immediate capability of achieving a particular goal at that particular moment, and therefore offers to help. As long as it comes from deep within, understanding the challenges which the human personality is going through in that particular environment, then that which is referred to as empathy is genuine. Else, there are many times in which help is offered or charitable deeds have just to mock the other person. Oh, there are so many of such here on earth. So, as is normal, it is what lies behind it that exposes the genuineness or the lack of genuineness. Sadly, many are unable to perceive what lies behind it, but the laws of creation will act accordingly.
Thank you very much. I think it practically answers what I was going to allude to, because that what I was alluding to was more of an elaboration of what empathy is, because it's just having to understand, having an understanding of the recipient's circumstances or needs, and if the person who is offering help, if they do not lack the if they do lack the understanding of the person's circumstance, be it the type of help that they need. I think that is what I was trying to refer to there as can that still be genuine help?
Yeah, it's again good you mentioned it. Maybe a few examples will clarify. Now, one can readily understand someone who is healthy, with healthy limbs, is very well or she is very well, and then you find in moving out, find someone who is not very well, is sickly or has some fever. For some who have never had a fever, they may help because their sensing is that that person needs help. For some who had fever, they know what it is. They know all the ins and outs, depending on the severity. Having gone through such a scenario, and that person now decides to help, such must have been prompted from personal experience. Therefore, empathy awakens So there are scenarios where people had experienced such and decide to help. There are scenarios where the individual hasn't experienced such, but realizes something is amiss and needs to offer some help. Whatever it is, as long as the prompting comes from deep within, then it is beneficial also to the giver. It is also beneficial to the receiver if the receiver makes use of the help and in one way or the other is able to assist others such that just as he himself was strengthened by some help, he himself need to strengthen others by some other help. In creation, help is intrinsically built into it, but the individual must strive aright to understand that which is of genuine help. Only when he or she understands aright that which is of genuine help, only then can it face the challenges that may arise along his or her path. For some things that the individual may face in his or her everyday life, the answers or the way to proceed is such that he himself or herself must be open to one's intuition. Why is that so? There are many, or to reverse it, people never walk alone. There are many other human personalities who might not be in flesh and blood, but also have an impact. That means they are able to channel their little guidance, which guidance is a help, which help has been provided in creation. This helps more like man's spirit guides. These helps have been woven into creation, and there are other helps, those who wish to redeem themselves, who, one way or the other, will have an impact on one's conscience. These are also helps, just as these helps are woven into creation and are of benefit to the receiver. The receiver of this help must be so open as to perceive this help, not only help in deeds, but also in intuition and in thoughts, as to know how to make use of this help. Very simple example. Many a time, some people they feel moody. And all of a sudden, they feel like listening to music and stepping out to hear some very beautiful tune. The question which they never ask themselves, why did it just occur to them to move out a bit? Why did it just occur to them to take that action? There are many others who are able to be of help, who help to mold the individual to be better in accordance with the laws of creation. Just as others are striving to be helpful in all ways in accordance with these laws of creation that has woven this house, these blessings in creation, so is man himself to receive of these helps and blessings, to make use of it, and also enrich not only himself, but also the lives of others. That is what creation is all about. That is what earth life is all about. That is what life is all about. That receiving and giving, giving and receiving, in which there is a balance, there is a reciprocal activity.
Thank you very much for this explanation. I think I'd like to take over from where Sad normally would give a short intro to the listeners. You're listening to Bless Radio. This is the special discussion program on Tuesday evenings from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. My name B. Akingpelu. I'm hosting the show, helping and hosting the show with Sad and Gregory. The aim of the show is to introduce you to the work in the Light of Truth, the Grail Message by Abdushin. If you want to know more on the Grail Message or what to get a copy of the Grail Message for yourself, then go to this website, www.grailmessage.com. That is www.grailmessage.com. It's GrailMessage.com. The topic for tonight's discussion is what is true, genuine help? You can join in the show with your questions and comments. If you're in the UK, you can contact us on WhatsApp only. That is on the number 079 39 641 958 by messaging us on WhatsApp. If you're outside the UK, then you can also contact us using the international number, which is 0044 79 39 641 958. All messaging should be done over on WhatsApp. You can also contact us on the chat box on the website where we are broadcasting on the blessradio1.com website. That is Bless Radio number 1. And that is the number 1. Just scroll down to the box called the Bless Chat and send any questions or comments that you have. As I mentioned, you can also listen to us on www.blessradio1.com. That is the number 1. We are also live streaming on YouTube. Go to the youtube.com, type in the search box, Bless Radio 1. That is the number one on the live stream. The next day, you can listen to the recording of the show. Again, you go to youtube.com and type in the search box, Bless Radio 1, the Grail Message. And the topic, which today is, what is true, genuine help? Thirdly, we are broadcasted on Zeno, that is Zeno FM / Bless Radio 1. That is the number one. Again, you can join in the show with your questions and comments. If you are in the UK, you can contact us on the number 079 39 641 958 by using WhatsApp only. And if you're outside the UK, then you can also contact us on the international number, which is 0044 79 39 641 958. All messaging will be done through WhatsApp only. And Sad, do you have anything? Are you still with us, Sad?
Yes, I'm here, and I'm so grateful you are there because I've been going in and out of the internet. I don't know what's happening there, but hopefully, when I take over from you now, it won't go away. So, thank you very much, B, for what you've done so far. Just one little correction in the website address is www.grailmessage.com. So or you can just say grailmessage.com. So just in case to make it clear, and just wanted to correct that only. So thank you, V, for that. So yes, I'm going to do the next half an hour of the show now. Gregory, thank you for what you have said so far in regards to our questions. And just listeners, just so you're aware, B has been giving his own question and I'm doing my own question. But that doesn't mean you cannot come and join in with your questions, because those are the questions that you want answering. So obviously, we're happy to answer those questions. Now, while we've been talking, a comment from a listener to the last section we just heard. Listeners, a comment now from a listener. This is saying, genuine help for me is simply helping others because you genuinely want them to get to where they want to go. So let me repeat. Genuine help for me is helping others because you genuinely want them to get to where they want to go. So, Gregory, is there anything you would like to respond to there?
Well, that may seem right, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. For that help, which is referred to as genuine, must have a reason for one's intuition. Question is, where are the people who want to go along the line of destruction? For there are many whose activities, when observed very carefully, wish to go to battle in the destruction of others based on the wrong information they have received. So, should one then assist such to where they wish to go? Therefore, it is helpful, as in the case where one has empathy, but that which springs from the Spirit, that which touches the inner core of man, is such that it forces the individual activity to reflect and not just through help anyhow. So you will find that in many cases, that's which springs from empathy, genuine empathy, not something superficial. That will be of benefit. As long as that help is not of benefit in spirit, in thoughts, or in deeds, then one can scarcely call such genuine.
Thank you, Gregory, for that. As we always, beginning of the show, we say there's a context where things are happening. And if the context is not known or clear, uh, you know, uh, well, we can just completely, misunderstand the scenario and, what we are talking about. So it's this, as they say, the bigger picture. If that is not clear, for sure, helping, yes, helping is a good thing. You can see that. Uh, but what is the help? And is it the nearly needed, genuine help? Is it needed? And what type of help? We've had, in a way, we've been saying it already, but these are the questions that we have to look at when we are saying what help is needed and so on. Um, and Greg, you just made a very big point there about using the intuition. Now, this is I could call it a still small voice. I'm going to ask you, Gregory, please can you talk about the intuition? Because I mean, I've got so many questions. I can never end on those questions actually. But maybe I'll connect it with the intuition. So, Gregory, let's say people are asking for help. Um, Now, it it might be genuine need for help. It might not be. So you've said the intuition is the way we have to discover that or use that. Um, so can you tell us, Gregory, how does this intuition work? And how do we use the intuition? And can you give some example that where you can see this picture of intuition working? Because it seems, how can I say, could people might have different ideas about intuition. So if you can give us a good picture of that.
Actually, you yourself already answered by saying the picture. The, when intuition is referred to, that intuition many a time violates all the initial thinking as such. You have a picture without words, and in following that picture without words, without, in quotes, the extra emotions, it is so fast, but only through practice. When that picture without words, which is more of an impression, when intuition is mentioned, it is an impression, more of a picture impression. Every picture is a pointer. Very simple example is that when they take a picture of yourself of a photograph, that photograph is only a pointer showing you the form. It doesn't give a complete characteristic feature of yourself. Doesn't give you how, doesn't present how you hear things, how you taste things, how you touch things. It's only a visual form. The intuition, if one may use a very simple example again, Here we are discussing. In our discussion, that's which is called waves, or in quotes, electromagnetic wave. They carry the discussion from one place to the other. Only when they get to the other end are they reinterpreted as waves with which your ear can hear. And if it is visual, it's only when they get to the other place are they reinterpreted, unencrypted, before one is able to see that picture. But in the transmission between one point and the other, these are waves which, in quotes, may be referred to as is known in science, electromagnetic or sometimes magnetic. What this means is that the waves, the impression carries all the necessary signals which now have an impact on the other side. Now you have, when the intuition is mentioned or the intuitive impression, these are vibrations, vibrations from the spirit, activities of the spirit, which activities already can already see what lies behind a request and quickly is able to draw its own conclusions. Subsequently, that impression is passed on to the receiver. This receiver now needs to act on it. Not for nothing was that receiver traveling along such paths so as to be able to, as the outer point, have this experience of giving or of not giving. The intuition has the capability, to a large extent, based on experience, of the finer judgment. But above all, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Because even in the case where the receiver is not worthy of it, one should not forget, just as even we ourselves are not matured or worthy of the grace that has permitted us to experience in nature, in life, there are also others whom, like us, have become so dense that they cannot use their intuitions freely. Not for nothing are we permitted to journey along such paths where we ourselves can be useful to others. It is not for us to judge who is, in quotes, worthy or not worthy. For as we ourselves pass judgment on that which has struck us, which at the same time we have been permitted to observe. Being permitted to observe only grants that you have been given something. You need to make use of it. You need to draw the strength through one's intuition. You need to draw the power through one's intuition. Just as there are others who walk with you, be they nature beings, be they people or who are not in their, who do not have or who do not live in flesh and blood, be they other guides in creation, these are always prepared to be of assistance to you, such that you yourself must understand that and be of assistance to others. The simple example one likes to use most of the time, you listen to music, a particular piece which has been played from your neighborhood, and it touches you so much. The composer, be it pop music or whatever one cares to call it, when that piece of music was being composed, there were many others that supported in the composition of that music. Therefore, you never walk alone. And when that person who listened to these impressions and brought them together in a more concrete form, he or she did not say only those who are genuine should enjoy this piece of music. That was not the case. Just as he or she, through his intuition, as you find in the arts, was given and has precipitated these impressions in or has now molded these impressions into something concrete which is recognizable by others, so also are you in your activities, one way or the other. It doesn't have to be music. So are you to hold on to those noble impressions which have been passed on to you, to make use of it and be of help to others. In that framework, you will find that there is always a flow, a continuous flow. If one goes back to music, you will find many a time you listen to a piece of music, it's so moving. Some will dance to it. Or have you ever seen people dancing without music? They may be considered to be mad. Just as he or she is able to open up and receive, to make use of it, such that others can benefit, so are you the receiver. The receiver who is also able to open up in his intuition, in his thoughts, in his deeds, to make something useful to others. Again, you find that is the flow. That is the flow. Do the best you can. Then one miracle upon another and another will gradually start manifesting because you yourself are the transit point in helping to ensure that these fine intuitions manifest physically. Therefore, the intuition is very helpful. That intuition, which is a picture without words, it is you who now have to add words to it and interpret it.
Thanks a lot, Gregory, for this picture that you've painted. It shows how important the intuition is in every matter of life. Like, uh, many of us think with our head, or they say it more than your heart, because the heart is, they say, emotional and not can't rely on it. But it's actually the other way around. No, well, let's say the head right. It's not doesn't have to be wrong, but there's something that has to rule, heart or the head, or let's say intuition, or the other word for the head. These are just metaphoric terms. We use vision, and the head we use for intellect. So everything has a purpose, and there's an order. How this and the order we need to be aware of that order. You know, yes, you can look at any scenario, and on the surface it will look, oh, you can go left, you can go straight to that. But there's a danger in one of those options, or maybe two out of three, or all three, maybe. Then do you know which is danger? We don't know. The intuition, let's say, is able to tune in, you can say, and see the bigger picture. This is the magic of what we are talking about here. What is the bigger picture? Because, yeah, on the surface, they look like the same, no problem. But you never can say that when you have the intuition, you can bigger picture allows you to the right decision, tune in to your intuition. Very, as a magical and but important. So thank you for that, Gregory. Now, Gregory, what you were saying, it you said it doesn't have to be people should be worthy of help necessarily. So what came into my mind is love, and I had the question of what is love, because and love we think of the Almighty. He's love. God is love. Uh, I mean, we have love in human beings as well. The great love you can is the Almighty. In yourself, you say, "Oh, He loves everything and everyone," since He is the creator, of everything. So, and that means, oh, He would help everyone. You said that, and it also reminded me of one of our regular phrases: one and one for all. You don't leave someone behind just because they're struggling. You know, uh, you just no, you don't do that. So that gave me the idea of love. So and even love, we say, can overcome everything. So it's really a big. So Gregory, you can give a picture of love now. What is love?
Again, thanks for this particular question. Actually, when viewed from the human standpoint, love, it binds. It's as if there's something which helps to bind to people, not only people, when one says, I love this song, that is a placeholder that it's as if I'm attracted, I'm bound to this. Therefore, the concept of love, when viewed through a picture in which one seemed to be attracted, instead of using the word attracted or attraction, it's as if there's some sucking force, that which tends to suck us on to a place where there is an accumulation. When one, in quotes, is in love, the challenges which may appear, those challenges are easily dealt with, because for one who is in love, such power of attraction is such that the person who is loved, you really wish to protect, to care, such that that person will live a sunny life where there will be no injury, where that person will achieve the high goals that he or she needs to achieve. When love is considered, one can see very clearly that there is a strong attraction. And the person who is in love puts certain things in place, puts structures in place, structures which are beneficial to the individual that is loved. Now consider very carefully, in accordance with the walk in the light of truth, the human spirit seed grain started from its origin, the paradise of man. In the paradise of man, it is unconscious. The possibility of becoming conscious and subsequently self-conscious, such that it's able to participate in the glorious activities, those features are well within the capabilities of the unconscious spirit seed grain. For it to realize that goal, in accordance to the light that permitted it, in accordance to the will, structures were created such that gradually The human spirit seed grain will have to journey away in order to experience. And in this experiencing, first it becomes aware of its surrounding, of its glorious surrounding, far away from home. It was love that put these structures in accordance with the will. Or to put it differently, it was love that put these structures in accordance with the truth, which truth is the will of the Almighty. The love of the Almighty gave it the substance such that these structures are possible. Just to make the human spirit seed grain realize its potential. In that case, it journeyed away from its source and came to the region of what one may refer to as that of the animistic. In its descent, it took in as a body in that realm of the animistic, and subsequently came into the world of matter, where it took in another covering. It was love that made the world of matter possible. It established the structures. It granted the possibility in accordance with the will. Time was granted. Gradual support was put in place for the human spirit seed grain. And there were so many other creatures who had no free will, but walked only in accordance with the will of the Almighty. Only the human spirit seed grain was permitted to journey forth and granted a free will to be, to decide whether it wanted to be a female or a male in order to mature. It was love that permitted that, permitted it in accordance with the will. Then came the formation of the world of matter, or the ones which are perceptible to our five senses. It was love that made it possible, putting the structures. Then came the gentle guidance. It was love that made it possible in accordance with the will of the Almighty. So, from the beginning, love has always been there. Christ himself, the personification of divine love, had to journey here on earth, and in his activities showed the way. It was love that made it possible, establishing the structures, showing the way how one needs to move in such a simple form. Now, many still ask, and what is love? With the simple example one has painted, the advice and the strong advice for many is to examine for themselves, to weigh for themselves in the walk, in the light, which light itself is love, and the truth, which truth itself is the will of the Almighty. Only through personal weighing and examination. For such weighing and examination is part of the motion that is necessary to awaken the innate talents which have been implanted. It is love that made it possible. Therefore, for those who are discerning, let them weigh and examine the work. Then, if their intuition is highly austere, they themselves will open up to that great, true, and genuine love, which love binds them, sucks them up as they awaken, sucks them up back to their origin. But this time as self-conscious human personalities, where back home in paradise, in becoming self-conscious, they themselves can be useful to others who are just starting their journey to become self-conscious, who need to traverse from the paradise of man to the world of matter, just as they themselves had done. And having experienced it, they are able to be of help to others. Then they have arrived. For that is the purpose. And that is what love is all about. For love does not just serve itself, it's of benefit to others. Just as it itself was supported, it needs to support others. Isn't that what we do to our children when we say we love them? Isn't that what we do to our friends when we say we love them?
Thanks very much, Gregory, for that answer and picture and explanation. I'm not going to say too much now because I want to let B continue to the end of the show. B, please, would you like to continue now? You're on
Sorry,
mute, B, in
I
case you
was
didn't
on mute.
realize.
Thank you very much for pointing that out. I was on mute quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, I would like to go a little further. Although some of this questions some parts has already been answered, it's just to maybe get a broader view, and also for those who are probably also joining in, may be able to get some understanding of what has been discussed so far. So the other question here is genuine help defined by the intention or the outcome? Can I repeat that? Is genuine help defined by the intention or the outcome? If the intent was good, but the outcome was harmful, is it still considered genuine help?
Very good question you raised. Genuine help is determined through the motive that lies behind it. Genuine help may not end up to be pleasurable, as many may um, consider. For that which is genuine in accordance with the motive, if that motive swings in accordance with the laws of creation, that means if that motives have an impact on one's intuitions, then the outworkings of this will be such that it will be of help, sometimes not in accordance with the person or not in accordance with the perceptions of the person who receives it. What this means is that to offer genuine help, it has to be holistic, whereas what many considers as genuine help has to be partial. That which comes from the light is holistic, not just partial. There are some, for example, someone is unwell. All this while, that person had been, in quotes, an unbeliever and had been doing terrible things. Along the line, he or she became unwell. And in his or her quiet moment, they pray, they have a conversation quietly within them and plead deeply within them. If only one could survive this, one could become well again. The possibility is there that they would change for the better. Subsequently, in accordance with the will of the Almighty, they had listened to some promptings here and there, and that prospect became a reality. No sooner have they become much better, they become much worse in their behavior. They become dictators and precipitated all sort of evil. Now there will be returns of their activities so that they themselves need to taste that which they have dished out to others. Would it not have been better if the prospect of a recovery was never granted? Because they would have continued to reflect and start improving themselves bit by bit. But now that they were granted an opportunity, they have sunk 10 times deeper. So, in quotes, the answering of one's prayers, that does not mean that person is free. Again, you will find in the course of events, the individual must be vigilant in accordance with the laws of creation, must be on the alert, must ensure that, just like they have in music, that which is of benefit, which he or she has perceived, they should ensure they create or form an environment which will be of benefit to others. It is not as challenging as it may seem. For those who play music, take for instance those who play the guitar. You start by plucking one string. Make mistake, keep plucking the string. For those who sing, you start by clearing your throats and doing all sort of things, making mistakes. Over the course of time, you improve on it, and then you are able to sing the notes perfectly. In that case, you are now able to receive of the blessings, and through your songs are able to translate it to others, which brings them happiness. What is stressed here is that one should take things in bits, in modesty, and before long, one gets there. So all efforts must be made to ensure that the final effect is such that the individual steps which were taken in accordance with the laws of creation, rather than saying the end justifies the means. It is not the end that justifies the means, but the means that justifies the end.
Thank you very much for that answer and comment that you have given us. It's very, very in depth and sheds a lot of light to what the meaning of genuine help is actually. So thank you very much. Um, we have a question from one of the listeners, and I think it's nice for me to mention it here. Now, the question listener says, "How do you know if help is genuine, or how to know if help is genuine?" That's a question from the listener.
Again, thanks for this. How does one know if the help is genuine? Like has been stressed, the genuineness depends on the motive. Over time, one is able to come to a recognition of that which is genuine or not genuine. First is the recognition. At the beginning, it is challenging, but subsequently, in listening to one's intuition, in coming to recognition of what one has on the outside for the manifestation, that manifestation, which is more like a picture, you wish to see what lies behind it, which is the motive. That motive itself is one needs to recognize based on the outermost manifestation. It comes to each person through continuous examination, through continuous observations. With time, that means with continuous practice, one is able to now remove the outer cover and able to perceive the kernel. Those of you who are in music or those who are footballers and all that, you see someone, in the football field demonstrating all sort of prowess and styles. That did not come all of a sudden. For the spirit it moves with such vigor, but the body, due to its density, is not as quick as the spirit. So the spirit is quick, the body is weak. It only means it takes time for us to come to a recognition of that which has been perceived. But it is individual who, in their own way, who study themselves, who are able to see a picture and recognize it. So it's a case of recognition, the quickness of recognition. Once that stage is arrived at, then it becomes personal knowledge. For it is recognition that counts, where there is an outer manifestation and the individual is quick to grasp the import of this manifestation, that import, that intuition, that motive. Then once that becomes knowledge, the individual now knows.
Thank you very much once again. I think this explanation is quite profound, and it's very very. I'm very very grateful that we actually able to shed more light on this. So thank you very much once again. I think looking at the time, I've got one more question, and then I'll be able to read the final text for the evening. So I think one last question that I might want to bring in is a little similar to what was asked just now, but it says, how can one ensure that help is empowering rather than patronizing? Is it possible to help without making the recipient feel dependent or demeaned?
Yes, it is possible to feel the recipient. So, in quote, the way you go about helping someone, not obstructive, but bringing yourself to the level to understand where the challenge is. Understanding alone helps the individual who needs to help to know how to approach the others who need the help. There are cases where the help giver may not understand, but deep within does some things. But understanding the environment is helpful, and that one helps to focus the genuine help one needs to give. So, first, one needs to understand the environment. How to understand the environment is based on the individual experiences.
Thank you so much. And this we now draw to the end of tonight. Before we go, I would like to read an excerpt, which is from the Grail Message for your guidance. The bandage falls, and belief becomes conviction. Liberation and redemption lie only in conviction. I am addressing earnest seekers only. They must be able and willing to examine this matter objectively. Religious fanatics and irresponsible enthusiasts may hold aloof, for they are detrimental to the truth. As for the malevolent and the prejudiced, they shall find their sentence in the very words. The message will strike only those who openly carry within themselves a spark of truth and the yearning to be true human beings. To all such, it will become the shining light and staff. It will lead them unswervingly out of the chaos of present day confusion. The following word does not bring a new religion, but is intended as the torch to help all serious listeners or readers find the right path which leads them to the longed for height. Only he who bestirs himself can advance spiritually. The fool who uses extraneous aids for this in the form of ready-made opinions of others only walks his path as if on crutches while ignoring his own healthy limbs. But the moment he boldly uses all the abilities which lie dormant within him, awaiting his call to help in his ascent, he is employing the talent entrusted to him in accordance with his Creator's will, and will easily overcome all obstacles with his Creator's will, and will easily overcome all obstacles that seek to divert him. Therefore, awake. Genuine faith lies only in conviction, and conviction comes solely through an inflexible weighing and examining. See that you are truly alive in the wonderful creation of your God. Would you like to say something? We are now at the end of the show. Saad, would you like to say something?
Saad is on mute.
He's on mute, I think.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you for. I'm now unmuted. Thank you. Yes, I would like to say something. Thank you, first of all, B, for joining us and joining me as in my role, regular role. And next week, I may not be able to do the show, so because I'm just traveling around, so so you'll be the one taking full responsibility, I can say, for as a host. So
Okay.
thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And yes, just well, I can say this last bit to the listeners, or you might want to say that uh, no, before that, of course, it's Gregory on that. So I'll let you do that.
Well, what I have to say
I'll say
is
it. Gregory, anything you'd like to say goodbye to listeners?
wishing all listeners a very happy week, and hopefully the Christmas and the New Year coming, wishing them all the best.
Thank you. B, you are the last one. Go ahead.
All right, listeners, thank you once again, and we will be back again on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Till 8 p.m. UK time with another topic. We have not come to that yet, but we will be discussing another topic for the show next week. At the time 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. on Tuesday, same time, Tuesday next week. Have a great week, listeners. Thank you once again for joining the show. Good night and God bless.